With New Year's Day right around the corner, officials are asking the public now to be careful with the fireworks during the holidays. Colin Vidros reports on what you need to know to stay safe.
2024 is only a few days away, and that means out with the old and celebrate the new. With celebrating the new year comes popping fireworks, and officials are asking the public to be mindful.
Keep a bucket of sand or water that you can put sparklers or things like that in, just to let them make sure they're cool before you throw them away. Don't just pick them up, throw them in the trash, because they could still be warm and warm enough to actually start a fire.
Tom Force with the Alexandria Fire Department says people tend to shoot fireworks at people, and that's something you should not do.
Shoot them away from your face, away from other people, away from buildings and structures.
According to the Alexandria Police Department, it's illegal for anyone to pop fireworks within Alexandria city limits. Those same rules apply in the city of Pineville. But for areas that do allow fireworks, the State Fire Marshal's office recommends detonating devices at least 200 feet away and limiting children's fireworks use to glow sticks and trinkets. Don't operate fireworks while impaired, light devices one at a time, and discard detonated items promptly. While shooting fireworks is illegal in Alexandria and Pineville city limits, Rachel Benoit, owner of Big Jim's Fireworks in Pineville, says it's important to obey those local laws on fireworks.
Poor officers work hard this time of year. We really encourage people not to make it harder on them.
Benoit says to follow your basic instructions when opening firework boxes, and that Big Jim's always encourages firework safety.
I mean, people for decades have gotten together, Christmas and New Year's, and do their fireworks, and we hate hearing of accidents.
In 2022 alone, those accidents were by the thousand. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission reports at least 11 people were killed in fireworks-related deaths last year, with 5 of those as a result of fireworks misuse. Plus, U.S. hospitals saw more than 10,000 fireworks-related injuries.
We're not saying don't have a good time, don't celebrate. We want you to do that. Just do it in the right place, in the right way.
In Rapides Parish, Colin Vidros, News Channel 5, your local station.